Hi, my name's Adeline Alanis Edwards, and I worked at New Cumberland Federal Credit Union for 11 years. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about New Cumberland Federal Credit Union's field of membership. They're currently a community charter, and there's been some issues with that, and I'll talk about those issues. And we can solve everything by converting to a select employee group instead of a community charter. So first I'm going to give you a little history about New Cumberland Federal Credit Union. They were originally established in 1952 to serve the federal employees at the New Cumberland Army Depot. They grew. They opened a branch at the Fort Indiantown Gap to serve the employees there. They also expanded into York County. They opened a branch to serve the employees of the York County Prison and the York County Nursing Home and Shrine Printing. So a select employee group is a type of credit union that serves businesses and the employees of those businesses or organizations. A community charter is a credit union that can serve a local area. So in 2004, New Cumberland Federal Credit Union decided that they could better serve the community by converting to a community charter. So they applied for a 6-county region, which included Adams, Cumberland, Dauphin, Lebanon, Perry, and York counties. And they were granted that community charters. They converted and they expanded. They moved their headquarters from the borough of New Cumberland to a roomier location in Fairview Township, which was right across the county line. So the headquarters is now located in York County. And they opened some new branches. The problem is, shortly after they did all that expanding, the federal government revoked their community charter. So NCFCU has been operating under a charter based on Lebanon, Cumberland, and Dauphin counties, when a lot of their branches and a lot of their membership is based in York County. NCFCU must revert back to a select employee group or SEG-based charter in order to effectively serve their existing membership and the local community. So here's just a little background about credit unions in general. Their nonprofit, cooperative structure, and special mission earns them a federal tax exemption, and that's important. We'll talk more about that later. Credit unions serve a common field of membership, just like we had talked about, based on characteristics like geographical area, employee groups, or membership in an organization. Again, credit unions are nonprofit, member-owned financial institutions that exist to serve the financial needs of the community. Credit unions are owned by their members and governed in a democratic way by a volunteer board of directors who are also members of the credit union. So what happened? Why did the federal government take away 3 of the counties that NCFCU had been serving? It's basically all about the American Bankers Association trying to stay competitive with the National Credit Union administrations. Banks feel that because of the tax exempt status, they don't have as good of an advantage as they would like to have over credit unions. Because there are reasons they can't really go after the tax exemption, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. So their best approach is to try to limit credit unions' field of membership. So in 2008, the American Bankers Association sued the National Credit Union Administration for being too lenient in granting community charters. It was ruled in 2008 by federal judge Yvette Kane that yes, the NCUA had been too lenient in granting these community charters, and Members First New Cumberland Federal Credit Union and AmeriChoice had to go back to their old community charters because of the lawsuit filed on behalf of Legacy Bank, Adams County National Bank, and Mid-Penn Bank. As credit unions have grown and come to provide consumers with more desirable products and services, bankers advocates are seeing credit unions as more of a competitive threat. More and more bankers advocates are arguing to lawmakers that credit unions are acting more like banks and no longer deserve federal tax exemptions. They often use the argument, if it quacks like a duck and it acts like a duck, it should be taxed like a duck. However, credit unions have always maintained a democratic structure, and according to John Riossi of the American Bankers Association, because of this non-for-profit democratic structure, bankers advocates have not made much headway in fighting for the taxation of credit unions. While fighting credit unions' tax exemption status continues to be a losing battle, bankers advocates have also begun to attack credit unions' competition by challenging their fields of membership. New Cumberland Federal Credit Union actually gained national attention earlier this year when its application for a 5-county field of membership was approved and then revoked by the National Credit Union Administration. New Cumberland Federal Credit Union has basically become the American Bankers Association poster child for the NCUA's supposed overreach of granting expansions of community charters. Even if NCFCU would be granted an expanded community charter to include York County, it will continue to be challenged like it has been twice. So how are other credit unions handling it? PSCCU is Pennsylvania State Employees Credit Union. It is a SEG-based credit union that serves the state employees. They're huge. They have a huge reach. It's not hard to become affiliated with them. And members first, they reverted back to a SEG-based credit union, and they signed on some big companies and organizations that, again, are not hard to consider yourself to be affiliated with. So those two credit unions are SEG-based. They're very easy to join. AmeriChoice is still a community-based credit union. They reverted back to their 3-county charter. And it works for them because they never really took advantage of the 6-county charter, and they didn't really go beyond the 3 counties to begin with. So they didn't really lose a whole lot, except potential. Belco is a different story altogether. They are not a federally chartered credit union. They're a state chartered credit union, so they don't have to follow the same regulations as federally chartered credit unions do. So what would it take for New Cumberland Federal Credit Union to become a select employee group or SEG-based credit union? New Cumberland Federal Credit Union has already created a new position of the Director of Business Development, and they hired a man named Kevin Chichak. He's been out in the community recruiting businesses in our current field of membership, and it's really a logical next step for him to continue to do this and get the affiliations that we would need to sign up new members. We're members of the Pennsylvania Credit Union Association and the Credit Union National Association. They can help us with the legal legwork. There wouldn't be additional costs to that. There might be some filing fees, but it wouldn't be a big deal. But really, going select employee group is the best way to go to legally serve new members in any county. Converting from a community charter to a select employee group charter would allow NCFCU to serve more citizens of York County. NCFCU would benefit its existing membership, and York County citizens would have better access to affordable financial services. As part of the credit union movement, NCFCU has committed itself to be people helping people, and according to NCFCU's mission statement, is committed to providing quality products, competitive rates, and exceptional service. In order to fully commit to these statements, NCFCU must convert to a SEG charter. Having branches that cannot fully be used in areas where it cannot legally serve new members, it's a disservice to the current members as well as the communities NCFCU has committed to serve. Thanks so much for listening to me today. Have a great day.